Okay, what's up, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing well. As always, guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, make sure you do go and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Make sure you do check out the Elevating Traders Discord channel, completely free to join. Link to that in the description below. You can find updates there regarding Elevating Traders. You can also join discussions with other traders, share ideas. I share my ideas there as well. If you're looking to join a community, make sure you head over, check it out, link in the description, and also at the top of the chat. You cannot miss it. But guys, welcome back to another stream. What's up, Philip? Hope you're doing good. Hope you're well. Your stream is like an office job for me. Okay, that's funny to hear. You've got an office job, and we're not paying you as well, Philip. We're not paying you to be here, but you're clocking in, so I like to see that. But hope you're doing good. Welcome, welcome. Dark Sean, what is up? GJ, very odd outcome after a miss on GDP. Yep. We did see some strength in pound there. A little bit surprising. Again, that's the thing with fundamentals. It doesn't always give you what you're necessarily expecting when the reaction comes out. Sometimes it might kind of get priced into the market over the next few days, potentially. Right away, the reaction, the news is kind of like a big mix of buyers and sellers getting excited for different reasons. But potentially over the next few days, you might actually see the actual news actually get priced into the market. But yeah, a bit of strength today with pound. Expectation for me today is to back to 193 and sell, fail to break current level and a big drop. Okay. We'll take a look at GJ on the lower time frames and see what's going on. What's up, Ahmed? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Tony Gold, as always, hope you're doing good, my man. What's up, JETV? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. So as always, we'll go through USD side of things first. Take a look at the DXY, USD majors, gold, silver. Probably go through some indices as well. Any requests, let me know in the chat. We'll discuss, see what's going on. Of course, if there is a particular time frame, let me know as well, and we can have a little look see. What's up, Paul? Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing good. So first things first, the dollar. So we've seen a bit of upside, not much really, not much. I'm expecting a bit more, to be honest. I'm still very, very short bias on the USD itself, and longer term targets back down at the lows here at 100.221. The way I see it on the higher time frames is that we've just got a failed breakout of the range for the past couple of years. Prices respected resistance very well over there. We did get the break of that. However, we broke straight back inside, and especially the momentum of everything as well is a key characteristic to take note of. The way we come back in very aggressively. It's not like price kind of slowly pushed the downside. We've had a lot of momentum, which kind of puts a bit of a statement. And we have a huge level of support below us here. And that's the support level I'm expecting price to make its way towards. Of course, with such a big drop from last week, you expect a bit of a correction. This week's candle looks as if it might close as a doji. Of course, we still got the rest of today's price action to price in before that does close. But again, we don't really have any major news today. I'm not expecting too much from USD, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm expecting a bit of a pullback before the downside. So my plan is trying to catch that pullback, preferably on probably Euro USD, to then keep shorting the dollar and hopefully buying Euro USD. So the levels I'm interested in, this area here on the left, just above 1.05, around this area here. I also really like the low here as well. Again, not too sure if we'll see a big enough pullback to get into that area. That would be very nice if the dollar could see that. But judging on momentum, we might see a more shallow pullback, something like this, and be on our way. So keeping close eye at both areas, 104.5 and also 105.5. We've got the 0.5 of the fib there, so that would be a healthier correction and something I'd be definitely interested to short. But as I said, we probably will see more of a shallow one. A shallow pullback for the dollar, judging on the momentum. We've seen a bit of upside the past kind of 24, 48 hours, but nothing much really. I understand if you're looking for some short-term buys on the dollar, so try and take advantage of the retracement. That makes sense. Not really an opportunity I'm interested in myself, as I do see the bigger move still to the downside. So I'd rather just focus on shorting the dollar. If my analysis is correct, that's kind of where I want to focus most of my efforts. But I do expect to see a bit more upside. So potentially in the lower time frames, there might be some short-term opportunities to long USD, possibly short euro, potentially short pound. Those two are still kind of overextended. They might still have a bit more have a bit more downside in the next few days potentially. So those could look interesting. But that's kind of what I'm looking at so far for the dollar. In terms of Euro USD, as I said, very bullish on this one, but I still need a bit more downside before I do start to look to long this one. I'm looking at this low here and also this high here as potential areas for long opportunities. Just need to see some pullbacks into those areas. Again, the reason why I'm looking to long Euro USD is very similar reasons why I'm looking to short USD, short the DXY. Price has come back into a really big level of support. It broke through, however, it failed to sustain those prices, and we came crashing back above with a very strong candle last week. So my expectation is more upside back into major resistance, which would take us back into this area up here, which is around the 1.1, 1.11 area. So onwards and upwards for euro. But first things first, we do need a bit of a correction since the price is a bit stretched, a bit overextended, and if we can have a healthy correction, that gives us an opportunity to find some longs, find some entries, and hopefully ride it back into that level. So those are the two areas I am focused on right now. Again, we're neither at either of them. So it's just about waiting for them to actually get tested and then hopefully find some long opportunities. So again, in the meantime, there might be some nice shorts to be looking at in the lower time frames and take advantage of that correction. We've kind of broken out this channel now, so perhaps we might be seeing some downside. Like I said, I'm not really interested in the shorts of euro because I do see the bigger move to the upside. But if you're on the lower time frames, that might be something you're excuse me, just sneezed there. Something that you're looking to take advantage of. But for myself, still very, very bullish on euro, just waiting for pullbacks into 1.077 and 1.06. It's been a long time since I've sneezed on the stream. Yeah, happens every few months to be potentially. Anyway, pound USD, same thing as euro, expecting a bit of a pullback as well. And this one, I do have further upside expectations back to the high here at 1.34. Prices come back to respect a lovely area of kind of demand, big push to the upside, of course, creating new highs past that point down the left. So potentially we could see pound USD continue that trend back to highs as well if the trend is going to continue. So there is some further upside targets to have for pound, but I think pound is going to keep it a little bit more simple than euro, not look for anything crazy. If I can see a pullback for pound into 1.26, all I'm looking to do is try and take it back to where we came from. So if you can see a pullback like this, my targets will be back to the high there. Keep it relatively simple because pound USD, the price action isn't looking as good as euro. We didn't have as strong as a push, and we don't have that kind of range, which price just kind of manipulated as well. So the odds of euro seeing that big push, I would say, is a little bit higher than pound, but of course they do the same thing. So you expect pound USD to follow suit. But anyway, if you get a nice trade from here back into the high, depending on how you enter, it could be looking at pretty decent risk to reward anyway. So yeah, look for some pullbacks there for pound USD for the retest of that area. More specifically, the retest of the high here, which is at 1.27. Looking for price to come back, potentially respect the trend line as well. Depends how we pull back, but into that area is roughly where my confidence lies, 1.27. And of course, a push back to the high looks the best. Dollar CAD, I'm still currently short this one. It hasn't been moving great, just all over the place, to be honest. But the key thing is that we're still respecting resistance, so that's why I'm still holding the position. As long as price can hold 1.45, of course, I do have my stop loss above the high there as well. I'm still expecting the continuation of that big drop from a few weeks ago. I'm looking at this as the correction of that four-way continuation back into the low, potentially lower as well, but I've just got my targets at that low there for dollar CAD. And so far, I was still doing a pretty good job at respecting resistance. Just haven't really budged, to be honest. Haven't really seen the strength in CAD I've been expecting. We've seen a bit of strength, but not as much as I'm looking for. But dollar CAD still holding major resistance. So as long as that stays true, I'm looking for a push back into 1.417 for dollar CAD. In terms of Aussie dollar, again, still testing major support on the higher time frame, so naturally still looking for a bit of a bounce for this one. As we can see, if we look to the left, a really big support there. Big reaction last time we were trading these prices, and perhaps we might see a bit of relief. Not necessarily price will go for another big reaction, although that could be the case, but I'm expecting at least a bit of a pullback, even if the bigger move is still to the downside. I'm still looking for a bit of a relief there for Aussie dollar. And the fact that we are just consolidating is a bit of a sign that says, okay, we're respecting support, failing to break through. Most likely price is going to do something like that over the next coming days. So I do like the buys here for Aussie dollar. It's just I don't really have a great setup in terms of trading it, because right now we're just kind of squeezing a little bit like this. And price might want to come back and test support first before we do push on. Or if we do push to the upside and create some new highs, that'll be great. Then the next pullback after that will be something I would be interested in taking and seeing more upside from, because at that point we've got some bullish structure to follow, and we do have some higher highs and higher lows. So yeah, I'm looking for more upside for Aussie dollar, trading out really nice support in the higher time frames. Price action right now isn't particularly great. There isn't like a safe place to put a stop loss or get into a position just yet. But if we develop and take up the highs, then something later on could look really good. Maybe next week or the week after. Depends how long it takes for us to go break the highs. But right now, we're kind of consolidating within the consolidation. So it's a bit awkward there for Aussie dollar. And as the USD as well, same situation here as well. I do expect price to break to the upside. We are trading at really big support. In fact, if we go to the weekly chart, you can see where price is trading. Really massive support here. Big rejection there. And as price continues to move sideways, again, I think there's a strong chance we do eventually break to the upside for NZD-USD. The only problem is stop loss placement is just a little bit vulnerable right now. I mean, you could have a stop loss below the wicks here, but I'd rather a strong level of support to bank my stop loss below. And especially I'd like to see price take out highs first as well, because we haven't really done that and created any bullish structure. We did have this big sell-off. This looks like a really big recovery, so I'm looking at this as a big V-shaped pattern. So I do kind of expect us to push to the upside. However, in terms of basing a trade, something like this would be a much better proposition, because I can get my stop loss probably in a safer position. And at that point, we do have some bullish structure to follow as well, with swing, pullback, another swing, pullback, and then hopefully another swing as well. So get ready for some buys for NZD-USD and Aussie dollar. But yeah, a bit rough right now. In terms of gold, breaking to the upside. Gold's looking very bullish, and it's just going to hit 3K as well. So very, very bullish for gold, and it's just onwards and upwards. There's not much you could be looking to do here with gold unless you're already in a position, or you're looking to try to scale and catch some lower time frame pullbacks, because there's just a lot of momentum right now for gold. If I drop to the hourly chart, you can see a lovely consolidation there. Kind of overnight, we've broken to the upside of that. Perhaps there might be a bit of a pullback and a continuation opportunity in the lower time frames. So that's something you could be looking at. But other than that, I don't really see an opportunity to buy gold unless we have a bigger pullback. I mean, I do like the range here. This would be a nice place for a retest if we have a bigger pullback. Still looking very, very bullish. And of course, silver is following suit as well. Very strong move, taking up the highs here. So any pullbacks for silver, I am looking to take really well. That, of course, fit my kind of criteria. I like the retest of the high there. That would be a nice place for a buy. The way I see it, silver is likely to push back into the resistance here, since we have taken out this big level on the daily chart finally, 32.3. has finally given way. So the next big level now is 34.86, and probably higher than that as well. And given the fact that gold is so bullish, probably going to see silver join the club as well and continue pushing. But yeah, very very bullish for both of them. I've just any type of pullbacks you're looking at, even intraday like 15 5 minute, you're probably looking at some nice opportunities there as well because there's just so much momentum in the market. So yeah, very very interesting stuff there for gold and silver. Seeing Euro USD in the 4 hour, I'm getting cooked for now. Oh, you're selling Euro USD, getting cooked for now. I still do expect to see some downside for Euro, to be honest, because it's been so bullish on the market. It's still pretty stretched. So I do think we can pull back. It's just very very tricky because judging where you got your stop loss, price can always manipulate that before pushing down. Of course, not you specifically, but a general area. But I actually am short-term bearish on Euro, expecting some downside. But yeah, I'm focused on the longs. Appreciate it, Ivan. Appreciate it. Yeah, gold hit 3K. I know, big move for gold, hitting 3K like that. What's up, Holy One? Welcome to the stream. Siani. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Good afternoon. Hope you're well. Good to see you as well. Short USDs are okay. We'll take a look. First, I'll go through pound yen for Darkshon, and we'll take a look at USDs are for yourself. But yeah, gold hitting 3K is pretty big. I mean, there's just so much momentum. So how far is gold going to move? I have no idea. But all I can say for now is very bullish. Again, we would expect retracement at some point, but it's difficult to say where and when. Let's take a look at pound yen on the 5 minutes. Let's see what's going on in this arena. Okay, so we did get a nice sell. Was that yesterday? Yeah, that was yesterday. So this was the position you said you missed, Darkshot. Nice retest of the range, nice drop. But since then, looks like price has put a higher low in and has continued back to the upside. You said you're looking potentially for 193. Is that what you said? Expectation for me today is back to 193 for a sell, or fail to break current level and big drop. Okay, so potentially drop from here, or we're seeing a lot of momentum right now. Potentially drop from here, or push back to 193. We're seeing some movement right now. But yeah, it looks like price is really stuck at resistance here on the 4-hour chart and lower time frames as well. But you can see multiple wicks into this area: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, potentially 8 with this current candle as well. So this is definitely a level which price has failed to break through quite a lot. There is still a lot of bullish structure momentum in the market right now, especially this morning as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do get back to 193. I think, generally speaking, that would be a nice place for a short. Right, the high back at resistance, safe place for a stop loss as well. And there is, definitely a lot of room for price to move into as well if we can see another rejection. So yeah, I do think shorts is the correct play here for pound yen. Yeah, I would probably wait for 193 for price to get there. We could sell off from here, of course. Looks like price is really struggling to break resistance at the moment. So we might not get to 193, but just in terms of stop loss placement and just in terms of where we're situated in the higher time frames, 193 would be a nice place for a short. We had a really big sell last time and the time before that as well, which is over there. So it's proven to be a sturdy resistance. So yeah, could see some nice sells there for pound yen. Okay, so we'll go through USDs next. Got entry confirmation first attempt. Okay. Good luck with that, Dark Sean. Hopefully pound yen is gonna behave. Trading's happy he was holding gold. Yeah, he's got some gold buys through the roller coaster ride. Yeah, it's been back and forth as well. Again, that's one of the definitely one of the challenges of holding positions for a long time and swing trading. is that you're going to get a lot of up and down, and you're going to stay in trades for a while where they're moving sideways. And yeah, it's very easy to get bored and just close a trade early, especially when it's kind of going sideways on you, because all it takes is 1 or 2 days of momentum in your favor, and the trade could be, swimming in some healthy profit. Um, and of course, you don't necessarily know when those 1 or 2 days will come. Sometimes you get into a trade and it's straight away. Other times it's after a week or two. Like, for example, my Aussie CHF position, I'm pretty sure I was in that trade for a week or 2 weeks, 12th of Feb. Yeah, I was in that position for 2 weeks. No, 1 week, sorry. 12th of Feb to 24th of Feb. Well, actually, no, 2 weeks. Yeah, ish, around 2 weeks before it actually moved in my favor. So, and that was mostly in drawdown as well. So, and of course, other times you'll be in a trade for a while as well. It just stop you out for a loss as well. Of course, it goes both ways, but that's one of the challenges of swing trading, is that you have to sit on trades for a little while. Sometimes not that long, sometimes very long. And it can be a little bit boring sometimes, and you just close the position in frustration. It's very, very easy to do that. USDs are okay. Looks like price has held resistance here. We did not get that reaction. Price is holding that resistance. Very, very bearish close yesterday. We did see some nice momentum, but price failed to break through the highs, and now you crash back below and now holding as resistance. So, judging this on the daily chart, strong break below, looks like a sufficient retest, especially with yesterday's wick as well. Yeah, it looks like price is most likely going to push back into the low here. Where's your target for the position, Saini? How far are you looking to take the shorts down on USDR? I think there's a good chance we do get back into the wick low there. Because again, the way I'm looking at USDR right now is like price is potentially forming another lower high to continue this bearish channel right now. So potentially we could see a move like this. Of course, I don't think you're looking for a move that big, but it's a possibility that we are seeing that potential swing. Of course, if price is going to respect the high of the channel, then there's a pretty good chance we're getting back to the low of the channel, as long as we respect that high there, which so far we're doing pretty well. Now that looks like we're breaking through some key support, which price is now holding as resistance. I wouldn't be surprised if we were to push into the wick low, possibly come back and test some of the areas down there as well, 17.9. So yeah, things are looking pretty bearish there. We failed to break above that level, and since we're holding very firmly, I really like yesterday's candle close as well. That nice kind of bearish doji with the wick to the upside, kind of like a tweezer top, 1 wick, 2 wicks. Yeah, it's a very strong rejection there. So yeah, probability of us getting back to the wick low here, I would say, is pretty high. Okay, so we'll go through some of the indices. Okay, I'll take a look at gold quickly, Henry. We'll go through some of the indices, and then we'll probably go through the rest of the JPY pairs. But yeah, gold, as I just mentioned, it's just very bullish right now. The only way you're looking for an opportunity in gold is just some lower time frame pullbacks, really. I did speak on this level here yesterday as a possible retest, but looks like price was just way too bullish for even that. And yeah, really big candle. When was this? This was afternoon yesterday. Broke through the highs like they weren't there, and now we're looking exceptionally bullish. So it would be nice if gold was to retrace a little bit more back to these areas, but difficult to say if we will do that. In terms of intraday opportunities, as a drop to the hourly chart, nice resistance here, healthy breakout. I'll probably wait for that candle to close just to see if we continue that momentum, because if this kind of leaves behind a big wick, I probably wouldn't say that that retest looks as good as it could be. But if you do see a strong close for 2 candles, then yeah, I would say the retest there looks pretty good. Possibly on the 30-minute chart there, could be looking for some buys, and maybe even some 15-minute entries, and taking it back to where we came from. So yeah, the only way I see opportunities for gold right now is if you scale right down and just look for breaking retest, or retest the prior lows to take gold back to the upside. Because right now there's so much momentum, and basically you're looking to trade that momentum. Your expectation is momentum to continue. If you're looking to short gold, again, I understand why, because the market is very stretched, but again, you don't really have a lot to work with here other than the market is very stretched. You're not necessarily looking at, you're not looking to the left or judging price. I guess maybe you're expecting maybe a reaction at 3K, which is a reasonable expectation. But that's about it, to be honest. So yeah, I think shorts, I can understand why, but it's just very aggressive bullish market, pretty much on all time frames, monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hour, hourly, all very, very bullish. So if you're shorting this, you're up against it really. So yeah, I would only be looking to long, but I would have dropped right down, just take my piece of the pie and run. Okay, so I'll go through some of the indices next. Hey, what's up? Trade with Dr. PFX. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Power NSD and oil. Okay, we'll take a look at those as well. Okay, so let me quickly go for the indices, and I'll take a look at your request. So US 30. So yeah, it's been a pretty bearish few days here for US 30, breaking through key support. I did say the support break hasn't been big enough for me to consider a breaking retest of that low. It still isn't, but it's a more confirmed break, which I do like to see. And perhaps we could actually see a successful retest. I'm always looking for much bigger breaks, like you'll see a nice break on NAS in a second. But yeah, it's a nice breakout. Perhaps we could see the retest of the low there. I preferably would like price to push on a little bit further before considering that retest. But what I can say is that we have broken through structure here. We had a big double top in the market and prices completely shattered through that neckline. First high, second high, broke through the low there. So now my expectation is a lower high and more downside. I have talked about potentially a push into this area. But of course, keep an eye on the retest of the low there as well. But yeah, I do think NAS is pretty bearish right now. Again, overall, very, very bullish, and perhaps we were coming back to retest the high like so around 36,987. But I would expect to see more downside and perhaps a bit of a counter trend form, which could provide some nice shorts for a while. Again, the overall market trajectory is still very much up, but looking at some of these previous highs, we've seen some really aggressive double tops for US 30, and they do give some nice sells. And we just done one again there. So yeah, it's looking pretty bearish here for US 30. So I would expect more downside. I think I would say I'm pretty bearish on the indices for now. Of course, I wouldn't be looking to sell just yet, but on some pullbacks, that would be great. If I take a look at NAS, which just had a really nice breakout of support, if that was to pull back and retest it, I think that would be a great trade, because you can see the breakout has been almost as big as the original bearish move to support. If I was to measure that, 1,500, and if I measure the breakout, 1,300 or 400 almost. So it's almost as big. So that tells me that the move is very confident, a lot of power in that, a lot of momentum, and we weren't really messing around either. It's not like price just pinched the low and started dancing below it, which is sometimes a bit of a tricky situation to maneuver. But once we get breakouts like this, okay, well, it's a strong sign that the sellers weren't messing around. So for NAS as well, it does look pretty bearish. Also broken below the 200 SMA as well, which is a pretty significant thing for NAS and the S&P as well. So that for me is an indication of more downside as well. You can see the last time we were trading below this was basically over here. And what happened over there in 2022, a bit of a bearish trend did form. Price broke some structure, and we formed some lower highs and some lower lows as well. And something like that could potentially be happening now for NAS as well. Clean break of the 200. Perhaps we go form some lower highs, something like this, and then perhaps we see the next continuation. So of course, everything is still very, very bullish there for the NAS, but last time we had a break, even this time here as well. I mean, this time was a very strong break, but we broke straight back above very impulsively. So if we were to do something like that, then I would say, okay, maybe it's a bit of a fake out. Even the time over here, nice break, retest, a couple of retests of the moving average, and some nice shorts as well. So yeah, the NAS looks pretty bearish to me. I will be looking at some shorts because I would expect new lows to be created. Of course, a pullback would be ideal first now. So not necessarily looking at more downside right now. If anything, there could be some nice buys to take advantage of, but I do think the bigger move is still to head lower. So that's my expectation for NAS, and S&P is pretty much the same thing as well. Strong break to the downside, breaking through the moving average down the daily chart. Weekly chart, of course, was still very much above, but there's a lot of room for us to potentially come a little bit closer, perhaps even retest the 200 before continuing. So that could insinuate more downside as well. But the daily's one that is the one I focus the most on. And again, we've broken through that moving average as well. So I like the possibility for price to come back, retest some support, perhaps retest the 200 moving average there as well, and see a continuation there too. So yeah, S&P, strong break of the low, NAS, strong break of the low, US 30, strong break of the low as well. But US 100 and S&P look the best to me. So yeah, pretty bearish here. And we're probably likely to see more downside in the next few days, of course, after some pullbacks. Okay, so I'll go through pound NZD, and then I'll take a look at oil. First target is 18.044. Okay, let me have a quick look at that. And I'll go through pound NZD and oil. $18.044. Okay, so that's pretty much the wick low. So yeah, I like that. I like that target a lot. Where's your next target? Because you said that's your first target. So where's your final target for the trade? But yeah, judging on price action, I would say you got a good chance of price getting back to that low. Okay, so let's take a look at pound NZD. So this one, of course, has been very, very bullish. If I can spell it, there we go. Okay, so pound NZD, of course, has been very, very bullish. Looking at the higher time frames for this one, of course, we've been absolutely flying. But you do expect to see some retracement at some point now. Again, looking to the left, not necessarily a lot to work with. It's been a while since we've been at these prices. 2015 was more or less the time we're back at these levels, which again, pretty much a decade ago. So it's been a while, but judging how price has been moving, every time we do take out a high, price does see retracement. So you can see we form a high over there, retrace, high, retrace, high, retrace, new high. There's a good chance that we do see some retracement as well. So overall, I would say that pound NZD is in a comfortable uptrend, but it's probably time to see some downside. So if you're looking to long, I would hold back. If you're looking to short, I can see why. The only thing missing for me would be a solid level of resistance, which I can base a trade from, and maybe some bearish structure as well. Because at the point in time, price is still forming higher highs and higher lows. So if we could see something like this, that could be nice. And of course, we came back into a big level as well. That would be nice as well. And you can base a trade from that and capitalize on a nice retracement. So that would be a nice counter trend play. But we're lacking that big level, and we're also lacking that kind of bearish structure. So it's difficult to say where and when pound NZD could pull back, because we could potentially push up another 100 pips before we do drop, and that wouldn't be very surprising. So You can see the market is starting to slow down. It's becoming a bit more tired. We had a lot of momentum here. But since then, the market's a bit more corrective. So it's a sign that we're getting ready to drop. But just, I can't say where and when. In terms of the buys, of course, you want price to come a lot further down first before looking to long. This would be a nice level to long around 2.22. That would be a nice buy. Solid resistance, big breakout. We haven't come back for a retest. I did say that was like a nice place for a bounce. And you can judge price. As you can see, we've been very, very consistent for all these high lows. So there's a pretty good chance we do put another one in, or at least have a bounce. Might not be a high low, but at least respect that area and bounce from that. So very bullish on pound NZD in terms of the trend, but it definitely needs a pullback, and neither here nor there. What's up, Lord Up? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Okay, let's take a look at oil. So oil, again, still more or less trading at some major support. Looking at a bit of a bounce there for oil. Again, this is the support level as I drag it across. You can see price has used it a few times, once over there, well, twice over there actually. Another big rejection there not too long ago, and now there again. So if you're looking for opportunities in oil, I would be looking for some buys. If I was looking to sell it, I would want to be already in the position, probably looking to take some profits now, or I'm looking for price to pull away to potentially form another lower high so I can short it back down, or potentially wait for a breakout and then, some shorts underneath could look interesting there. But this is definitely major support. So if you're looking to get involved with oil, buys are the only thing that really makes sense here, unless you're shorting on the lower time frames. But yeah, I like the sells. I like the buys. Sorry, got my words mixed up there. I like the buys for this one, but I would wait for us to approach support again before looking to long. Of course, you can see a lot of wick rejections here, looking pretty good. If you could do that again, there's a good chance we do turn around there, and you can get a relatively safe stop loss as well. So that's a good thing to keep in note. So yeah, pretty bullish there on oil. As to how far, that's the question. I would probably play it a bit conservative. Of course, you've got some resistance directly above you here. Price seems to have a bit of trouble trying to break the high, so that naturally would be a good target. If we could break through that, then there's some other areas to consider. A nice range over there, some highs over there as well. There is a major trend line connecting the highs here on the weekly chart. Perhaps we could get a retest of, but that's if you're being a little bit more greedy with your targets there. Yeah, that's if you're trying to really push the trade. But yeah, I think some buys down low, 65.58 look good. Resistance back 68-ish. I think that's a healthy target for the trade. If you can smash into that, it can book most of your profits and leave some to run. But in terms of entries, I would wait for us to push back into the low here. You can see really nice wicks, of course, back in that daily zone. That's just a healthy place to be looking for buys. And the fact that we're moving sideways as well is a sign that, okay, support is holding. So we had a lot of momentum coming to this level, and that seems to have vanished a little bit, and now we're kind of just moving sideways. So yeah, it looks like oil's getting ready for at least a bit of a bounce. Even if the bigger move is to break through support, you probably will go for a bit of a bounce to the upside first. John, good morning. Okay, a lot of people talking about gold today. And yeah, rightly so. Of course, gold's been very bullish. Again, I don't really have a lot to say about gold. It's just very, very bullish and creating new highs. So there's not a lot for me to do, to be honest, unless we look for some bigger pullbacks. I like the possibility for the retest of the high at 29.55 or the retest here at 29.24. So those would be pretty attractive levels on the 4-hour chart. Basically looking for the continuation of this bullish structure here, pull back into that level or that level for the next long. So that's kind of what I'll be looking at for gold. But of course, judging the price action and how bullish everything's looking, whether we see that pullback or not, it's difficult to say. On the lower time frames, looks like prices pull right back in. Damn, that was a big pullback. Is there a bit of news or something? Wow, that is a big candle on the 15-minute chart. Was there some news? There wouldn't be news, would there? 10:45. A random time to have news. Nothing that I can see. The only news we got today, or any big news we have today, is USD at 2 p.m. USD Michigan consumer sentiment. So I'm not too sure what happened there with gold, but yeah, big push, big candle to the downside there. And if we do close like that, I would definitely not be looking to take any break and retest anymore, because that's a sign that momentum has basically failed and we're closing back within the range. 4-hour candlestick not looking too hot either. That's still got another 2 hours before it does close, so not gonna judge that just yet, but not looking fairly attractive for the buys. Perhaps it might be a sign gold might be putting in the top to retrace potentially. But yeah, I would be very careful of gold. I don't really see an opportunity yet at the moment. Judging momentum as well, that we fell to the upside, it might be a sign that we do put a high in. So perhaps if you do see some bearish structure form, it might be some nice shorts, maybe probably next week at this point. So there might be some counter trend plays there, but we still need a lot of development before I would start to advocate for some shorts there for gold, because it's still looking pretty bullish despite the bearish move we just had yet. Like I said, the 4-hour levels look pretty good down here, so we'll wait to see if that is a possibility, but we have to wait and see. At the moment, I don't really see much to do with gold. Maybe 3K is going to be a bit of a top for gold. We'll have to wait and see. Where was I? Okay, Ahmed, welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Wait, have I said hello to you? Yes, I have said hello as well. I'm just saying hello again there. Well, it's never doesn't hurt to say hello twice. Okay, take care, my man. We'll see you on Monday. Appreciate it. Ahmed. If you guys are joining the stream, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, hit the bell as well. It does really help out. But appreciate that, Ahmed. Lighton, what is up? Calling sick today. Oh no, hope you're well. Hopefully it's nothing serious. Quick recap on dollar CAD, Aussie dollar, and Euro yen, and New Zealand CAD. Okay, we'll take a look. Holy One, what is up? Euro CAD just shot up high. Yeah, I think we're seeing a bit of movement right now. Gold spiking to the downside like that. Not too sure what is going on, but seeing some momentum. All markets got volatile for some reason. GJ back to my entry. Okay. Let's have a look around. Okay, so take a look at dollar CAD, Aussie dollar, Euro yen. I took a look at pound yen, didn't I? Yes, I did. So yeah, I'll go through USD CADs, Aussie dollar, Euro yen. We'll take a look at Euro CAD as well. So dollar CAD, I'm still currently short for this one. Price has just been very stale, so it's been a very sideways. It hasn't really gone anywhere for me, to be honest. I mean, it's been in profit, been a loss, but in terms of the general move, we just still respect to 1.45, which is the basis of the trade. As long as we can hold 1.45, I'm looking for price to turn. Maybe if we continue to be sideways and form support, maybe I might exit early, but so far I'm just going to see what the trade does do. At this moment in time, I wouldn't say there's much to work on here on the hourly chart, because it just is consolidation. If the market is choppy, moving sideways, and there's not a lot of consistency, then the best way to trade a range is be up high as possible or down low as possible. You know, if you can think about trying to be the highest possible sell or the lowest possible buy in a range, you're automatically in a great place. Of course, I'm not saying literally being the highest seller, but just being high up as possible. There's always a good place in a range, because your expectation is that the range is going to continue. If it doesn't continue, And of course, price is going to break out and probably hit your stop. But if it does continue, then you're situated at a really nice place, stop loss in a safe place. And if the range does continue, you should maximize your risk reward as well. So from a risk reward point of view, it makes a lot of sense. As of right now, price, like I said, in the middle of nowhere, really. You got major resistance up here around the 452 area on the hourly chart. So if you're looking to short, you really want price to be up there. If you're looking to buy, I mean, at least back in the low here would be a nice place for a short, nice place for a long, sorry. But even down here would be even better, I would say. So yeah, dollar CAD, I don't really have a lot to say about the low time frames. If you're still looking to short, I'll wait for price to push up high and then look for entries up there. If you're looking to long, this is not a bad place, and also the low there as well. But in here is where all the mess is building up really. So I would avoid that. I'm still bearish though on dollar CAD as a whole. I'm still very bearish on USD. So my plan of action is short USD. I kind of expect DXY to retrace a little bit, but I'm still expecting a lot more downside in the dollar. So my plan of action is just short USD. Again, as long as there's a good opportunity to do so, not just randomly. So I'm still very bearish on dollar CAD. It's taking its time. And of course, CAD's got a big part to play with that as well. In terms of Aussie dollar as well, I'm very bullish on this one too. I'm expecting price to break to the upside. It's just been very difficult to get a good entry for this one. It's been a little bit messy in this area. A drop to the hourly chart. It looks like price may be forming a bit of a low here. The way I see it, we're kind of bottoming out, kind of rounding out as well a little bit. So possibly price is getting ready to do something like that. It's not really at a big level or anything. The big level support is down here. So if it was there, there'd be a bit better to base a trade from and put a stop loss below. But the way I do see Aussie dollar kind of continuing is something like this, breaking to the upside. Perhaps a nice break of resistance here could provide some opportunities on a retest, maybe sometime next week for a long there. That could be a nice trade on an hourly chart or even lower as well. But we've tried to break to the downside on a few occasions here. Looks like we failed. So if we can break to the upside, there's a good chance we probably continue that momentum. And again, I'm very bearish on USD. So anything against USD, I'm looking to sell USD there, at least for now, unless something changes. But at the moment, that's still the case. So yeah, Aussie dollar expecting break to the upside. I would say keep it on the resistance there. If it can break, that'll be a nice place for a buy. And yeah, potentially a push back to the high there. From a swing point of view, I'm still looking for something like this to happen. A break of structure, then a pullback. That would be a nice buy. From a swing point of view, more of a trade in the 4-hour chart. But might have to wait a fair few days for that to set up. Euro yen we'll take a look at as well. So yeah, Euro yen pretty bearish on this one. I'm looking to sell it. I didn't take the trade in the daily chart. I didn't see the candle close strong enough for me to take the position, so I held out. But now we're pushing back into resistance. Now I can potentially look for 4-hour entries again. So if we can reject this area, I will be looking for a bit of a double top at this resistance. Wow, Euro yen is really pushing there. Is this yen or is this euro? Let me have a look at some of the other yen pairs quickly. CAD JPY, what are we doing? A little bit of upside, but nothing crazy. Dollar yen, what are we doing? Again, a little bit bullish, but nothing crazy. Aussie yen, what are we doing? Okay, it looks like it's a bit of both. Yen looks like it is a bit weak, but I would say euro looks pretty strong right now as well. But yeah, it's pushing hard into that resistance. So if we can form a nice double top here, if I can get a nice bearish engulfing candle like that, that would be my entry signal. Entries, something like this, stops a little bit above the high with a bit of wiggle room, and then targets back at support down at the lows there. Decent risk reward, hopefully a nice 1 to 4, 1 to 5, and stops, fairly tight, but with a bit of room there. Above the high as well. So very, very bearish on Euro yen still, expecting price to push back into support down here and eventually break through. And as long as we can put that next lower high in, as we've been doing, 1, kind of 2 there, and possibly 3, that's where I do expect that high to form. So I'm coming back into a very interesting area right now for Euro yen. If you can respect it, I think this is a great place to short. Okay, so we'll take a look at New Zealand CAD next, and then I'll go for Euro CAD as well. Take a look at GJ. But yeah, it looks like a lot of momentum for the yen pairs at the moment. What's up, Campbell? Welcome to the stream. New follow to your page. Nice. Welcome, welcome. Plus new trading. Could I see how you map out your market structure with high and low? Okay, yeah, I'll go take a look at some of the yen pairs, and I'll make a note to point out market structure for you. But of course, welcome to the stream, Campbell. Happy to have you on board. What's up, Verogans? Welcome to the stream. You're looking bullish and a huge move in Euro yen to the upside. Yep, just saw it. Really, really big bullish move there. Things are looking very interesting this Friday, I must admit. I'm still very bearish in Euro yen, so this bullish move doesn't really mean much to me. As long as, of course, price can respect the level I'm looking to short from, that is this high here. So I'm looking for price to reject that. And if I do see a good rejection on the 4-hour, I'll be in the trade, stops above the high, and targeting support around 155.5. So that would be the plan for the trade. Of course, if price was to break through resistance here, I'll back away and see what the next move is. Potentially might be pushing back into daily resistance up here, potentially at 166. So that could be the play as well for Euro yen. But generally speaking, this area at 162, I'm looking to short. So I'm going to stay on the ball, because although, yes, we look pretty bullish right now, things can change very, very quickly. London session, things might be bullish. New York, things could be just as bearish. Of course, in the opposite direction. So yeah, looking bullish right now, but we'll see if we can hold that. And if we do, hopefully some nice sells as well. New Zealand CAD, I did exit my trade early for this one. Price was no longer holding my level of confluence and the level I was looking to short from. I had a position yesterday. My entry was on that 4-hour candle with stops above the high around here. But I did close the trade early, because if I go to the daily chart quickly, you can see price was breaking through resistance here and starting to use it as support, which was very bad news for my position. Because at the time, price, of course, was breaking above that resistance, but I was expecting price to now break back below and, of course, continue back to the lows here. That was my expectation for the trade. But yesterday's candle, we had a big pullback towards the end of the day, and we closed back above that level. So that was a big red flag for the trade. So I did close the trade early because of that, and it looks like we are looking pretty bullish now. And we might, of course, probably go and create some new highs. So unless I see more momentum for New Zealand CAD that comes back underneath this level again, and the daily chart starts to look to shift bearish again, then I'll re-enter the trade and put my stops in a similar place. But of course, if we stay above that, then that's a bullish signal for me. And of course, I don't want to be shorting that market anymore. I'm still pretty bearish with this one. We have broken out of that ascending channel on the left there, and my expectation is still a push back into support. But of course, if we're going to be breaking resistance, then I need to hold my horses and not be jumping into any positions just yet, as we might be pushing a bit higher. So yeah, still looking for that short. Still nice confidence in that area, but the daily candle, yes, they gave me a big red flag there. So I hopped out the position, and we'll see how that does progress. But if we do come back under, I will look to re-enter. As of just yet, we don't kind of have that momentum. So if I drop to the 4-hour chart, something like this, nice bearish engulfing candle coming back down, that will be a sign that momentum is shifting again, and I'll look to take a trade. So yeah, that's my expectation with New Zealand CAD. We'll take a look at some of the other yen pairs. I'll go over the market structure of everything as well. Henry, Aussie CAD, we'll take a look at too. No worries. Mike, what is up? Do you use trading stop loss? If yes, why do you use them? Good question. I do use them in specific situations. So because I've been experimenting a lot with trading stops for a while, and from my experience and my research, trading stops don't always work the best there. I mean, trading stops work the best in the right conditions, which is trending. If there's aggressive momentum, market's trending well, trading stop loss work very, very well, because essentially you're saying, I'm expecting the market to continue going, I'm expecting momentum to continue going. I'm just going to trail my stop loss, a certain distance away or below a swing low or something like that, and just follow momentum. If you're trading a choppy market, then of course trading stop losses probably actually hinder your trading rather than aid it, because a choppy market will zigzag, it will wick around, and it'll probably hit your trading stop loss before heading to your targets or heading further in your direction. So with FX pairs being very, very choppy, from my experience, it's not the best idea to always use trading stop loss or have it as a permanent way to manage trades, because you'll get a lot of situations like this for NZD CAD where things are very choppy. You'll get wicked out pretty easily. If you're looking for bigger targets, that is. So for trading stops, I only use them when I'm in trending conditions, and I only use them when I'm looking for bigger targets. So when I'm looking for targets which are around the 1 to 2, 1 to 3, I don't normally trail stops there because the target's not big enough. But my Aussie CHF position, which I took a little over a month ago now, this position, I'm looking to swing it back into the low, and essentially I'm looking to continue the trend which we've seen for a while, and continue the trend back into the low. So for this position, I'm trading my stops. I've already taken most of my profit at the low here. My stop loss is trailed above the high here, so I'm just basically looking to trail above swing highs on the way down. And the reason I'm using it here is because, number one, we do have a trending condition. It's not a perfect trend, but the market's still trending pretty well in the higher time frames. And number two, my targets are pretty far away as well. So I don't want to be in a situation where price is 90% to my profit target just to have price potentially turn against me. So I want to mitigate against that and protect myself in case that happens. So that's why I use trading stop loss to mitigate against price turning around against me after seeing a pretty considerable move in my favor. And number two, if the conditions are for it as well, it makes sense to. But like I said, those are only for bigger targets, and only in trending conditions is when I'll use trading stops. If it's choppy choppy conditions or smaller targets, then I wouldn't use trading stop loss. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Okay, let's go through the yen pairs, and we'll focus on market structure as well. We'll take a look at Aussie CAD as well, Henry. No problem, Lighton. Happy to help. So yeah, with the yen pairs in terms of market structure, I just focus on the major swing points. Again, there's market structure everywhere from the 1 minute chart to the monthly chart. With market structure, you've got the majors and you've got the minor, as in you got the major swing highs and you got the minor swing highs. Minor swing highs is kind of what I look at in terms of the candlestick formation, and the major is kind of what I look at in terms of the bigger swings. So, for example, for dollar yen, I'll look at this as a major swing low. I'll look at this as a major swing high, major swing low, major swing high, potentially major swing low. It hasn't pulled back yet, but that might be a major swing low forming. We'll have to wait and see. But at least for these points here and this point up here, these are my major swing highs and lows. The minor swing highs and lows are to do with the candlestick formation. So as price continues down, these are kind of, let me change the color of that. I don't know, green? Actually, no, not green. The candlesticks are green. Blue, there we go. So these are what I would call minor swing highs, because they're based on the candlestick formation. So you got a lot of them there, and the minor highs kind of are equivalent to major on the lower time frame as well. So again, when I'm analyzing a chart, I'm just focused on the major swing highs for that particular chart, because if I look at the minor ones, I'll be there for an eternity, and it's probably best just to drop to the lower time frame to see it a bit more in detail. So yeah, these are the highs I'm focusing on. I'm just using simple laws of market structure. If we're in a bullish trend, the market's making higher highs and higher lows. If we're in a bearish trend, the market's making lower lows and lower highs. And if we're sideways, the market's making a mixture of higher highs and lower lows. So we're not really going anywhere. It's not always equal highs, equal lows. Sometimes it's a bit of a mixture and a bit of a mixture of highs and lows, but just no consistency in terms of the trend. So, and those are the three phases of market in general. You're either trending up, you're either trending down, or you're trending sideways. And that's pretty much how I look to study market structure, to be honest. Keeping things relatively simple and making sure that I'm always in the right direction. So yeah, that's kind of my understanding of market structure from at least a basic point of view. Of course, you can judge characteristics and momentum, and you can add a lot of things to it. But at least if you understand that, you understand what the market is doing and where opportunities could lie. In terms of dollar yen here, I'm pretty bearish on this one. We've broken some structure here on the left, so that would be a break of structure there. You're breaking through a price run low. I'm expecting dollar yen to eventually make its way back into support. We do have some really key resistance just above us as well over here. I'm potentially looking for price to come back and retest that before potentially selling off. There is a pretty nice bearish trend here on the hourly chart as well. You can see all those lower lows and lower highs. I'm looking for potentially another retest of this area before I sell. It depends how we get there, if it looks good or not, if I'll take the trade. Yeah, it depends how we get there or not, but that's something what I'm looking at for dollar yen. It's not the cleanest opportunity because we are a bit stagnant now. Like if we had a bit more momentum in our last bearish move, we had a lot of momentum here, not so much there, so it's made things a little bit awkward. But expecting some shorts around this area. I'll see how everything does set up. If things look good, I'll take a position. If not, then of course I'll stay out the market. But I am looking for a pretty big drop there for dollar yen back into 141 eventually. In terms of pound yen, pretty bearish on this one as well. However, it's just been a very kind of choppy situation here for pound yen. A lot of consolidation in this area. I am looking for a big drop into the low here at 180. But first, I do want to see a bit of a pullback before we do see that drop. That is really what I'm looking for. And that's kind of where I'm looking for my entries as well. If I can get an entry around there, there is a big move to be had there for pound yen. Of course, I'm not going to be looking to target this level outright. My targets probably for the trade will be back at support here. I'll probably take most of my profit there and just leave a bit to run, just like I'm doing for Aussie CHF, a bit to run to 180. But that's kind of the area I'm looking for a trade, because right now, all of this looks like a lot of noise to me. And basically, price is respecting support pretty well here on the left in the daily chart. So even because we're respecting support so well, it doesn't really make sense for me to be looking to try and short through that. I want price to pull away from the support so I can find resistance and short it back down, find some more sellers and short it back down again. So that's my expectation there for pound yen. Euro yen, I'm looking at pretty much this exact same setup, except it's already formed already. So euro yen, looking to short this. It's at the high right now. You can see the trend line here. First, second, third, fourth, looking for the fifth test of that area. But basically just looking for the next swing high here for another push back down. And again, expectation is a break of support as well, but I'll take most of my profit here. I'll leave some to run. I do like the possibility of a retest of this high here. I think that will be a nice area we can target as well, but that will be a story for another day. Let me get the trade first, and then I'll start talking about that as a target. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at, and that's why I'm staying particularly attentive right now for the price action on euro yen, because if I do see a strong rejection here, I will look to take the trade. The current 4-hour candle is leaving behind a bit of a wick to the upside. We still got an hour and 49 minutes before it does close, so there's not a lot I can do with that until we do get the closure. I still need to see a strong bearish engulfing candle at least before I do enter. So if there's an entry, it'll probably be right at the end of the day. If not, maybe early next week. But we'll see. We'll see. If things look good there, we see some nice rejection, I'll look to jump into a trade. Risk reward looks pretty good, hopefully around a 1 to 5, which is always a good risk reward. In terms of the other yen pairs, I'm kind of waiting for bigger pullbacks. CAD yen is one of them. I'm waiting for a much bigger pullback for this one. Reason being, we've actually taken out a major wick low here. So I'm no longer interested in shorting CAD yen anymore. Yeah, this is bullish territory. Last time we were here, pretty strong reaction to the upside. Perhaps we go through another reaction as well. In fact, that's kind of what I'm looking for price to do. So we can catch some lower highs here, retest that area, and short it back down. We've got a first test. Ooh, let me change that back to orange. First, second, perhaps a third. I don't think we'll test the trend line, but you guys get the point there. Looking for a lower high and then another drops down. So I'm very bearish on the end pairs. So just looking to short them, to be honest. Happy to help, Mike. Happy to help. Campbell, no problem, my man. Happy to help as well. A lot of smoke out the brain, no problem. I'm in the phase where I'm trying to master market structure. Yeah, it's a good phase to be in, my man. We all start somewhere. I think market structure is the most important thing to understand first. Again, market structure is not going to unlock everything, but it will give you a really good understanding in terms of direction of the market. And the direction is such a big part to play because successful trading is all about positioning yourself well for your given bias. If you're looking to buy the market, if your expectation is the market's going to go up, well, up from where? You have to then find a good place to buy it. And if you can understand market structure, it will point out direction for you and potential areas to buy from. Of course, you can use other things, support and resistance, supply and demand. There's a million other things you can use in your trading, but market structure is definitely a good thing to understand. Yusuf, good morning. Hope you're well. No, I'm not in the EJ trade, Ben. I was going to enter on the daily candle, but it wasn't big enough for me. Now that price has been kind enough to come back into resistance, hopefully I can get on the 4-hour chart and maximize my risk reward again. Yeah, waiting for confirmation. Holy one, I'm out of GJ, as I said. Tried to go for 305 on the trade. When I hold it too long, I lose profits or going to drawdown. Force me to doubt and close to keep my trades. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, whatever works for you. Again, some people like holding to trade, some people don't. Again, the trading is all about just finding consistency and returning profits, really. If it's easier to go for the shorter trade, then go for the shorter trade and maximize that. Paul, what's up? Hope you're doing good. Analysis on DJ30. What's DJ30? Never looked at DJ30 before, but there is a first for everything. Mike, why did you not take the trade when it hit the first time, when it charts the trend on euro yen? Do you look for a specific pattern? I missed the trade there, Mike, actually. I missed the entry. I was actually supposed to enter that, but I was busy. I can't remember what I was doing. Yeah, I was busy, so I actually missed the entry. So that's why I was actually going to enter on the daily candle, because I missed the 4-hour candle. But since price is already pushed there this morning, now I'm just waiting for a re-entry to get in for a short. What would you recommend after market structure? Well, it depends on the style of what you're trading, because you don't want to go and just learn everything, because there is no use to that. You kind of want to have a direction of what you're looking to learn, because there's so much to learn. You'll be here till you're 65, unless you're already 65. Looking to learn everything there is in technicals. So, I mean, the way I trade is I look a lot at market structure and confluence, and support resistance plays a big part in that. If you haven't gone through support and resistance first, I would recommend actually going through support and resistance first before you look at market structure. If you have looked at support and resistance, good, then I'll probably start looking at a lot of confluence. So looking at retracements, fibs, and a lot of trend lines as well. Because the way I trade is I look to map out areas of confluence where price is likely to turn around from. Jay Huntley, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Oh, US 30. Okay. Oh, Dow Jones 30. Duh. Okay. I didn't put two and two together there. My bad. Yeah, we'll take a look at the Dow Jones for you. I was just thinking DJ, what's DJ? DJ. But yeah, makes sense. Okay, so we'll go for US 30. Is there any other requests I've just missed? If I have missed out a request, just let me know in the chat again. Aussie CAD, it was Aussie CAD for Henry. My bad. I'll take a look at that one. Jay Huntley, do you trade with take profit set or let it run? Again, it depends on the situation, but most of the time, 90% of the time, I will have targets for my trade. Sometimes, well, again, I have targets for every trade, but I will have multiple targets, and I'll have my main target and then an extended target if I expect price to go further. So I'll let trades potentially run to an extended target when there's normally a high time frame trend in my favor and some other things as well. But yeah, I don't normally let it run aimlessly. I always have a target for where I'm expecting price to get to. But if I do have a bigger target, a long-term target, I will trail stops along the way. But yeah, my trades will always have a target for it. Continues for euro, but weekly says bullish, so no prices are there with the strength. Yeah, I mean, euro has been very, very bullish, to be honest. Euro has been very bullish. No problem. Jay Huntley, Euro CHF, Lauder, no problem. We'll take a look. Okay, let me go through Aussie CAD first because that was requested ages ago, but I completely forgot about it. So Aussie CAD. So yeah, Aussie CAD, New Zealand CAD. I was looking at both of them for shorts yesterday, but they didn't really play out, especially New Zealand CAD closing above resistance. Aussie CAD looks like it's still just about holding, but not really reacting too well. I don't like the fact that we're firing wicks to the downside here as well on the daily chart. Wicks to the upside at resistance, great. Wicks to the downside as well, kind of just defeats the purpose there. So that's very, very awkward there for Aussie CAD. And then drop into the 4-hour chart, we're not really respecting it very well as well. Yeah, so to me, I'll probably hold off for Aussie CAD and just wait to see what the play is. If we do break through the highs here, well, see maybe a couple of strong daily candle closures above resistance, well, that opens up the door to some nice longs. Price is putting some nice higher lows here, and perhaps we could see another one. And now that we've broken through resistance, we could possibly see a retest of that, and that could end up being a really nice buy. Maybe price is working its way back to resistance at 0.935. So for Aussie CAD, I have been pretty bearish on, but we just haven't seen clean price action for those shorts. And if this bullish structure does continue and we manage to break resistance, well, then you're possibly looking at another push to the upside. So for Aussie CAD, I'll be waiting for something like this to follow through before looking for some longs. But the fact that price has had so many rejections of the level but failed to push away, especially yesterday as well, tells me there's a great chance to probably break resistance then respect it. So I'll be waiting for something like this. And for a buy, same thing for New Zealand CAD as well. We had price side to respect the resistance, but then yesterday we closed back above support, especially with that wick yesterday. So that's why I exited the trade early. Now potentially price might rally through. Of course, if things change and we come back below, then I'll look for a re-entry. But at the moment in time, we are not seeing that. So staying away for now. In terms of the Dow Jones, so US 30 is looking pretty bearish. I'm pretty bearish on the US indices in general. I think there's more downside to be had for all of them. It's been a clean break of structure. We've also cleared the 200 SMA here as well, which is pretty significant for the indices, especially the S&P. But the Dow Jones has cleared that as well. But the most important thing is we've broken through structure here. We had a big double top here. First rejection, second rejection. Price double topped that and has now broken through structure. So my expectation now is a lower high and a drop. There's two areas I'm looking at. Either a bigger pullback into 43,600 back into this area for a short, or price has a retest of the low there. I'm not the biggest fan of the retest there yet. Preferably, I like price to really clear a level before looking for the retest of it. This is not the biggest breakout in the world. If you look at NAS, much bigger break to the downside of support. Likewise with S&P as well. So these I'd happy to take the retest at that level. US 30, not quite there yet. Not quite there yet. So yeah, pretty bearish on US 30, expecting more downside. Again, just because I don't like it as well doesn't mean price won't have a successful retest. It's just my preference of my trading has always been bigger breakouts for bigger retests. So I would be waiting to see if we can get a bigger pullback there, which again might be a bit optimistic. But I do expect more downside here for US 30, and I do expect a bit of a counter trend to fall. So yeah, more downside will be my expectation. Euro CHF, we'll have a look see. So yeah, Euro CHF looking pretty bullish here as well. The fact that prices respect to support probably means more upside. I mean, overall, Euro CHF is still a very bearish market, but it might be time for a bigger pullback, to be honest. I say that because we're at all-time lows. Yeah, well, at least since 1973, we're all-time lows. I say that because price has, of course, created the all-time lows, and typically after we do that, we typically see upside. You know, we've taken out all-time lows here, so I do expect eventually price to see a move to the upside. Reason being, there are no sellers anymore here for Euro CHF. I mean, the biggest sellers anyway. Because if you think about it, a lot of sellers will be driving price down, and once price creates new all-time lows, a lot of sellers will be taking their profit, and hence them closing trades, potentially buyers stepping into the market, you know, should result in the price seeing some upside, even if it is going to eventually push back down, which is probably likely the case. Probably will go for a bigger push to the upside at some point. So I do think there is a lot of upside to be had for Euro CHF in the near future. What I can see is that we're, of course, breaking structure pretty well on the 4-hour chart. We had a successful retest of this level here as well. Nice push into the high. So perhaps if we can continue this bullish structure, there might be more buying opportunities to follow, something like that as well. Just continue to follow that bullish momentum. Of course, as we approach some areas around here, I'll be a little bit more cautious. Back into some big areas of supply. We can see some big moves to the downside from these areas, so I'd watch out from that. But yeah, I would say there's room to the upside still for Euro CHF. What are you looking to do with Euro CHF order? I mean, if we are going to form another lower high, I would want to see a lot of development here. And I also would have wanted to see price breakthrough support there too. The fact that we respect the low very aggressively is not a good sign for the sellers, especially for trend continuation, and also the fact that we're at all-time lows as well. That's why I kind of expect to see more upside for Euro CHF longer term. Campbell, what time frame do you use at a whole? What time frame do you use? Well, I use multiple time frames, but I try and use all information I can get on a trade before making a decision. Some people don't like it because it's too much information, but if you're very specific in terms of what you're looking for, it actually just helps with your trading. It gives you more information and better judgment for a trade. So my entries are normally on the 4-hour chart. So pretty much everything above the 4-hour I'm looking at. So the daily, the weekly, and the monthly, I'm taking information from all of those time frames and then basing a trade on the 4-hour chart. Sometimes I'm taking a bit more information from one time frame than the other, depending on the situation or things, but I am looking at all the information I can get. I rarely do drop below the 4-hour time frame. Sometimes I do drop below the 4-hour for an entry on the hourly time frame, depending on the situation. That's very rare. I used to trade the hourly chart, but yeah, not long ago I did make the jump to 4-hour. So yeah, I do look at 4-hour, daily, weekly, and monthly chart for decisions. Again, I'm looking for market structure, support, resistance, gauging momentum, looking for rejection, confluence. to base a trade. Okay, I wanted to buy it but missed. Yeah, I think there'll be another opportunity to order. Of course, um, never great to miss a trade, but yeah, we're human. It's not going to be the last trade you'll ever miss. But I do think there's still more opportunities there for some longer there for Euro CHF, which is interesting because that might mean that CHF becomes weak. If we are going to see Euro CHF push to the upside like that, potentially CHF becomes weak, which might mean a lot more upside for a lot of CHF pairs. Of course, I'm still shorting Aussie CHF. Yeah, I'm not too worried about that because I've already taken most of my profit with the trade at the low. So effectively the trade is done. It's just I'm trying to really maximize my rewards by leaving positions to run. Worst case scenario, the position I have left, I'll be trailed out here. So yeah, we'll see if that continues. Of course, if price can hold resistance, that'll be great. It might see the full swing to the wick low, but we'll see if price can continue. Morning, Antonio. What's your time frame analysis since you entered the 4-hour chart? Like I said, the daily, the weekly, and the monthly. Mostly the daily is what I use to base a trade idea from. But again, I'm taking information from the monthly chart, I'm taking information from the weekly chart, and I'm entering on the 4-hour. Because again, time frames is just it's just a period of time, really. But we're looking at the same chart. The monthly is still the 1 minute, the hourly is still the 15, the weekly. It's all the same thing. It's just candlesticked into a particular period. So the information is still the same. And different time frames will give you different information and different and show you different things. So I do take information from all those time frames. The daily has a lot of importance to me, but if I see a big red flag on the weekly chart, then I'm not going to take the trade. Same thing with the monthly chart as well. So yeah, I'm using the higher time frames for analysis and 4-hour for entry. But I wouldn't say there's one particular time frame that I'm just completely relying on for everything. Because if there's a red flag somewhere, yeah, I'm going to take note of that. I'll go through some of the CAD pairs. Actually, did I finish the yen pairs? No, I don't think I did. I didn't go through Aussie yen or New Zealand yen. Okay, I'll go through these and I'll take a look at the yen basket as well. So yeah, if I have missed out any pairs, just let me know in the chat if we want to take a look at anything. But yeah, Aussie yen, I am pretty bearish on this one as well. New Zealand yen, I'm pretty bearish. Have we taken out the wick low? I don't think we have. No, we haven't quite yet. So yeah, I'm expecting these wick lows to be taken out. CAD yen's already done it, so I'm kind of backing away from CAD yen, expecting a bit of a pullback now for that one. But New Zealand yen, we haven't quite taken out the wick low there yet. So I'm expecting a bit more downside now for New Zealand yen. Of course, maybe we go for a bit of a pullback first, which would be nice because that could help with some entries. I'm kind of looking to see if we can catch a double top at that high there. We've already got the break and retest of that low. That would be a nice place for a double top and perhaps a short. Again, we have to see how price looks when we get there and the candlestick formation when we get there. But the idea is that we have been pretty consistent for all these lower highs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now looking for the next swing for, again, some new lows. Aussie yen, same situation as well. I like the structure we're seeing. Consistent lower lows and lower highs. The plan is basically looking to catch the next one. We've got some really nice support over here, which will be turn resistance. I'm pretty sure we've got a nice trend line in the market as well, connecting previous highs. 1, 2, a third one there will look really good and catch another sell there as well. And of course, hopefully, if things go well, we can catch a swing back into the wick low there too. So yeah, pretty bearish here for Aussie yen as well. Just waiting for a good entry for it. And the reason I'm looking for downside, is based a lot on multiple time frames, weekly chart, monthly chart as well. We're seeing a lot of downside opportunities. I'm expecting this wick to be filled as well. Last month's candle gave us a nice shooting star formation, big wick to the upside. A fairly strong close, could have been a bit stronger, but nice close to the downside. So I am actually expecting price to return back to support here in the longer term. But of course, the wick low is the first thing I'm noting. But yeah, keeping the close eye 94 and then expecting more downside from there. As we take a look at the yen basket. So yeah, the yen basket not looking too hot right now. There is some resistance here, turn support just below us, but altogether the breakout hasn't been great. As I've been saying, I like my breakouts to be big and impulsive. Those are the breakouts which give me confidence to follow, because if we're going to have a big break above a level, well, it's going to take a lot of energy for us to break back below it. That's kind of the theory of it. If we kind of have a half-hearted breakout like we do here, well, it's not going to take too much energy for us to break back inside. And hence, you're going to see a bit more fake outs when you have breakouts like this versus breakouts where big like this. It's going to take a lot more energy for us to break back inside. Of course, they're not perfect. Sometimes you get big breaks like that, and it will be a fake out as well. But at least it puts probability a bit more in your favor rather than breakouts like this where you're seeing a lot of red flags. The fact that we're forming a lot of wicks to the upside here, still seeing, didn't mean to do that. Still seeing a lot of really strong bearish kind of closures there as well. So not really liking that for the yen basket. My expectation again is still push to the wick high here, so I'm still very bullish. But perhaps we push down and form another higher low first before pushing to the upside. We got a low there, higher low. Perhaps we put another one in, something like this, before continuing, which will give me some opportunities in a lot of the yen pairs because I'm looking for a bit more retracement. But yeah, the yen basket not looking too hot at that level. Perhaps are we getting ready to break through? Maybe. I will suggest we probably are with all that rejection there. It will be quite surprising to see price suddenly push the upside like so and continue to the upside, because you've already had multiple attempts trying to break higher. So because of that, I do think there's a great chance that the yen does break to the downside rather than pushes back up. So straight away, I would be very very bearish on this one in the short term. Long term, very bullish, but short term, it's looking pretty weak. So taking that into consideration, maybe we might not get the entry on euro yen. If price, of course, does break to the downside for the yen basket, and euro yen is probably likely to break to the upside here as well. So if we don't see the yen gain some strength, then yeah, euro yen's going to keep pushing. So I might have to be a bit more patient for the shorts there. Might have to be a bit more patient. Okay. Yusuf, yesterday missed your stream because of school. No problem, man. Again, you're not obliged to attend the stream, although I might make it seem that way. I'm joking. But yeah, school's pretty important too. Watched it half asleep till I slept off. So you went to sleep listening to the stream. That's funny. I love the dedication though. I love the dedication. Good to hear it. DAX. Yes, we'll take a look at the DAX. I haven't looked at the DAX yet. So yep, we'll take a look. After waking up, I was confused because I was sure that I heard when you something about missing a trade in the 4 hour. You don't like to take trades on the 1 day. Think big jump was due to German government. German government reaching an agreement on debt reconstructing. That could be it. To be honest, I have no idea why, because I haven't actually seen any updates on the news calendar, so I have no idea why. But that could cause a ruckus. Went over the stream swiftly, but I couldn't find it. My question is, was I dreaming? No, you weren't dreaming. I did say, well, you probably misheard me, but I meant to say that if I do miss a trade in the 4 hour chart, I don't mind entering on the daily. Because essentially I'm expecting price to reject an area and then move to another area. I'm looking to enter in the 4 hour, but if I miss that entry, I expect the daily to eventually give me a rejection and a worthy entry as well. It just means my risk reward initially um, on the 4 hour would have been a lot better than entry on the daily chart, because of course I'll have a bigger stop loss. But if the entry still looks good, if the risk reward still looks pretty good, I'll still take the trade. So yeah, I didn't say I don't like the daily. I said I would take it on the daily. In this case, I didn't see a big enough rejection for me to enter the trade, so I've stayed away. But now that it's pushed back into the level I wanted the short from before, if I could see another rejection, I'll just look to take the trade in the 4 hour chart. That way I can maximize my risk reward. Nazar, dollar yen, pound yen. Okay, we'll have a look. See. First, we'll take a look at the DAX though. No problem, Campbell. Yeah, but we are seeing a lot of momentum in the markets at the moment. So, and I'm not seeing any scheduled news events. So, Alfonso's probably onto something there. Okay, so let's take a look at the DAX. What are we saying? Okay, so still looking pretty bullish. So again, I'm expecting a big pullback for this one, but it's awkward because the market is still respecting higher lows. So shorting now would be a very difficult thing to do unless you can have a really big stop loss, because the market is still technically trending to the upside here. So I would avoid sells. The market is definitely running out of steam. You're seeing more frequent pullbacks, more exaggerated pullbacks, big candlesticks there as well on the 4 hour chart. With that bearish momentum. So I'm expecting us to eventually turn around. It's just we need to see price actually make the break of structure first, just like the other indices done. US 30 breaking through structure, NAS breaking through structure, S&P breaking through structure. Need to see the DAX make that move as well if we're going to look for anything like this. So I do think the DAX time's coming to an end in terms of the bullishness. It's not going to be bullish forever. And especially with the move we've seen recently, look how exponential it is. Typically we're a little bit more corrective on the way up. This time, not so much. I mean, we were to begin with, but then afterwards we said nope, and we absolutely flew. So I do think the next bigger move for the DAX will be some retracement, and there probably will be some nice momentum in it as well, because it's another indice, and if you typically look at the sales for the indice, they normally do sell off pretty hard. So I think the DAX will see some nice momentum, just like we're seeing with the US indices as well. But yeah, not quite ready yet. So I want to see us break out the channel, and then I'll talk about some shorts. For all I know, we're probably going to get another swing back to the high there, perhaps maybe a nice double top. I mean, that could be a trade, it's an aggressive one, but if you're looking for some shorts, I'll probably say that's not a bad idea, especially if you're trying not to call the top. But yeah, I'll wait for that channel to break and then talk about some shorts afterwards. Okay, so I will take a look at dollar yen next, and then we'll go through pound yen as well. That's bullish due to 800 billion euro defense infrastructure and debt use. Will confirm that EG looking for weapons. Oh, okay. That. Well, the DAX is still going strong then. It is not messing around. Okay, so let me go through dollar yen. So dollar yen, I'm pretty bearish on this one. Expecting a lot of downside. Price is still giving me lower lows and lower highs on the 4 hour chart. So as long as that stays intact, I'm looking for another lower high. 151 is my area of interest. But I have to be patient, wait for price to get there. Also, it's important how we get there as well. Again, when I'm looking at charts, I normally give out areas where I want to buy and sell. But the areas I'm buying and selling from, how price gets there is also just as important. If we get there impulsively or correctively, or we kind of chop around, it all makes a difference. So far, I'm not a big fan of how everything is looking, because it's looking like we're kind of forming a bit of a bowl shape here, which is not something I want to keep shorting. because a bowl shape pattern is more of a sign of reversal than a continuation. So I have to judge how price gets there. Things look good, I'll let you guys know. Things don't look good, I'll let you guys know as well. Of course, if you break through, then that just invalidates the whole setup together. But I'm still pretty bearish here for dollar yen. My expectation is a big push to 140, but I have to be a bit patient for the setup. In terms of pound yen, again, for this one, I'm looking for a push to the upside first before some shorts. I'm looking for a push into 196.5. That's kind of the area I'm looking at. I'm still looking for a big push into that wick low. But the way I see it right now is that the market is just consolidating. We've got a big level of support below us, which we've respected pretty well. Multiple tests of this level, and price just held up the level pretty well. So I do think we'll probably break to the upside here for pound yen eventually. And hopefully some shorts from 196 or 197 look pretty good. I mean, are we looking for a pretty big swing? I'll probably just have my targets at support there. No need to try and overcomplicate things, but I probably would look to hold positions to run to see if we can get it back to that low. But at the moment, GJ looking pretty bullish. The fact that's respected support on numerous occasions, I do think resistance will eventually break here. It could still reject a few times before it does break, so I wouldn't go buying it. But yeah, I am looking for some shorts up there. So yeah, pretty bearish on the yen pairs, but just not quite ready to be shorted yet. And it depends how everything sets up, how we get there, how we react. Will all make a big decision on in terms of my shorts. No problem, Ben. Happy to help Yusuf. Looking for it because I wanted to know the reason mentioned surveillance. No problem. That's a good memory as well. Falling asleep, had a bit of a query, woke up, still in your head there. Probably had a dream about trading. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of my take there on the yen pairs. In terms of the CAD pairs, I do think it's time to get ready for some downside for the CAD pairs, but of course, fundamentally, that's going to play a big part as well. Technicals give you the understanding of how people are buying, selling, and it will generate patterns for you to trade and profit from. But again, technicals are not perfect. You only get access to limited information. So hence why no one's going to have a 100% win rate. But what I can say is that the market is definitely very overextended. We've taken out some major highs. There's probably a lack of buys in this area. Of course, fundamentally, maybe new buys get into the market based on a given circumstance. But generally speaking, we're in areas where you would expect to see at least retracement, even if the market is going to continue pushing. We probably are going to go collect some more buys first before we do continue. So I'm expecting pound CAD to retrace. There's a lovely level below us here on the daily chart, which I said at the start of the week I was looking for the retest of, but unfortunately price was just way too bullish to get a retest of that level. We might still eventually get there, so I'm not going to rule that out, but we are pretty far away. If I measure that in pips, we're about 500 pips away from that level. So there's going to be a pretty big retracement for us to actually get there, but I still like the level. Solid resistance, healthy breakout, and still looking to follow the trend there. I think that still looks like a really nice buy. EuroCAD's kind of in a similar situation as well, which is, of course, major resistance here. EuroCAD's really flown to the upside, and it's left behind some solid levels below us as well. A pullback into that area would be a nice place for a buy. And again, looking to take it back into resistance wherever we come back from. We might push up a little bit higher before we do pull back, but wherever that swing high is, looks like a good target to me. So yeah, very bullish stuff for the CAD pairs. Looks like CAD is still weak there, still pushing up. I haven't spoken about dollar CHF. Dollar CHF is still a pair I'm looking to short as well. It's looking like CHF is becoming a little bit weak, so potentially you could still see USD push up. I'm very bearish in USD, so all USD pairs I'm looking to short USD against, whichever is the partnered currency pair. In this case, CHF. Again, there might be better USD pairs to trade than others. For example, if CHF is going to be weak as well, but Euro is going to be strong, it's probably better to buy Euro USD than sell dollar CHF. as I'm kind of finding that out with dollar CAD. But at the end of the day, technicals are technicals, market structure still market structure. If things look good, I'll still take the position, because you don't want to have prejudgments and you miss a good trade just because you're a little bit hesitant. If there's a good reason to miss a trade, then fair enough. But if the trade looks good, and again you've tested your strategy, you know what you're looking to trade, know what you're looking for, then unless there's a big red flag, I don't see a reason to not take the position. But yeah, this is what I'm looking at for dollar CHF. Still looking for lower highs here as well. Consistent highs we've been printing the market since that double top as well. And the way I see it, that USD is likely to continue falling. I just want to see a bit of retracement for USD first, and hopefully find some shorts later on as well. Looking at the DAX this morning, but the 4 hour was so bearish. Was expecting that spike. Yeah, I mean, I do expect the DAX to eventually give us that pullback. But yeah, that was a very sharp move to the upside this morning. Yeah, I think a lot of people already been dragged into some sells as well, because if you think about it, this is not the best time to be looking to short the market based on how it's moving. If anything, if we push back to the high, even though it's a pretty aggressive trade, this is actually a better time to be looking to short, because you up at the highs, you can probably get a safer stop loss, and there's a good chance that as soon as we get to the highs, buyers will start backing away as we're approaching the highs again, so that we start taking their profits. And naturally, that could give us a bit of a push to the downside, and hence you can capitalize on that. Of course, you do run the risk of the trend continuing, which is why it's still an aggressive trade, because the DAX has been so bullish for so long. But I think there is some merit there. I think the conservative opportunity would just be waiting for price to break out that channel, because that's basically what the S&P has done, what NAS has done, what US 30 has done, is just break out of their consolidation, because they've been very sideways for a while. S&P, NAS, the Dow Jones, we haven't really gone anywhere for a while, but they're finally broken through that structure, which is now what's made me pretty bearish on them. Same thing for the NAS. Yeah, we've been going sideways for a while. We've broken through the structure. US 30, lovely double top, and we've broken through the low there as well. So if the DAX can join the party and break some structure as well, because we haven't done much for a while either with the DAX. If you can break through that, then yeah, I think shorts will look really, really good going forward. But yeah, sharp move these ups this morning for the DAX, but I don't think, again, it depends on the fundamentals, but I would still be getting ready for some sells there. In terms of the FTSE, I haven't actually kept an eye on that one. Okay, so we're retesting that level there. I think that was the last time I had a look at it. Or was it back here? Can't remember now. But okay, it looks like we've held support there. I think I was looking for the retest of that area, but we didn't have a big enough pullback to see that happen. But yeah, we're looking pretty bullish now. But again, we've still broken through structure as well, so it would be a bit difficult for us to push back to highs. I mean, it's not the biggest break of structure. Reason being, if I go to the daily chart, the market structure is still very much up. It's more of a minor break of structure. I would class it as. So I wouldn't be so bearish on the FTSE. In fact, if you were to come back into support, I think that's still a good buy. Probably wouldn't target the highs outright though, but at least the push back into this area, I think will look like a good target. You can always leave positions to run if you're trying to shoot for the highs there. But I think the retest of the high is still a really good trade. But yeah, generally speaking, I think at least for the US indices anyway, I do think more downside is likely the outcome, of course, after some pullbacks first. BTC as well, generally looking pretty bearish. I'm still looking for the retest of the 73K. Haven't really seen that momentum kick in yet for Bitcoin. I wonder if we're going to go through another correction first before a drop. We still do have that resistance around 90K. Potentially could still see price come back and retest that area first before continuing. I wouldn't be surprised if that does happen. We've tried to break through the lows here, and it hasn't really worked out too well. So we might push away first, collect some more sellers first before continuing. But yeah, to me, it still looks like a bit of a top here for Bitcoin. So yeah, I'm not expecting some big move like that. Of course, it's Bitcoin; anything can happen. If the right amount of buyers step into the market, then we could soar. But judging the technicals, everything's still looking pretty bearish. So I'm still expecting more downside. But if we do push up, it might actually present some nice selling opportunities if we do get closer to 90K there. But it kind of makes sense though, because if I'm expecting like the US indices to retrace and see some upside, because the US indices and Bitcoin is so correlated at the moment. If the indices retrace, then there's probably a good chance that Bitcoin retraces as well. And if the indices fall again pretty hard, Bitcoin's probably likely to fall again pretty hard too. What's up, Seas Integrated? Hope you're doing good. Hope good trades for everyone. Love the energy, my man. Hope you're well. No problem, Lauda. Happy to help. Have a lovely weekend as well. Appreciate you coming on. Hopefully, we'll see you next week. But yeah, for myself, I'm just going to keep an eye on Euro Yen right now. I still do have dollar CAD and Aussie CHF. Completely forgot what trade I was in there for a second. So I still do have this position. It's pretty much at my entry right now. It's been a very, very sideways move for dollar CAD. If it continues to move sideways, I might consider exiting early. I don't normally do that. Because as long as my level is still holding, then the trade is still valid. The reason why I closed NZD CAD earlier is because the level wasn't being respected anymore, so it didn't make sense for me to stay in the trade. But in this case, 1.45 is still holding. So yeah, I'll make the call probably sometime next week if we continue to stay sideways and momentum really dries up. I'm still very bearish in USD though, so yeah. I'll see how things develop. Of course, Aussie Chef, I'm just going to let that position do its thing. My stop loss is already trailed. So worst case scenario, we hit the trading stop loss. Euro Yen, I'll keep a close eye on that one for shorts. Although after looking at the Yen basket, I'm not too confident that will hold the resistance there. Because the Yen basket to me looks like we'll probably break to the downside. And if the Yen basket heads down, Euro Yen's probably going to head up. So unless for some reason Yen becomes very, very strong, excuse me. Yeah, I'm not too sure Euro Yen will hold that level. But we'll see. If I do see a strong enough rejection, I'll enter the trade. But yeah, because I enter in the 4-hour chart, that means we've got the 1 p.m. close, because the clocks have come back and normally it's 2 p.m. but 1 p.m. close, and then we have the 5 p.m. close, then we have the 9 p.m. close. So that's 3 more 4-hour candlesticks before the weekly candle does close and the week's done, and the trading week's done for the week, at least for FX anyway. So I've got 3 more candles to potentially get a sufficient rejection for a trade. Will we get that? Potentially. We could see it in the next candle. But I don't think we will, to be honest, judging the Yen basket. If that drops, then unless Euro becomes insanely weak, I don't think we'll hold resistance, but we'll see. USD CAD says weekly sell, but it's curling up, and H4 MAs are all tangled, so I can really read what it's doing. Yeah, it's the price action is not great. It was looking good when I got into the trade, but of course, since then, time has gone on. We've got more information, and prices just kind of very, very sideways. So, although technically it's still in a bearish territory in a area, I do expect to see some downside. Again, we've come into such a big level on the weekly chart. You can see major resistance here on the left, once, twice, a third time there as well. So I am expecting a bit of a reaction because of that. And I am looking for USD to drop. I'm very, very bearish on the dollar as well itself. Of course, I'm looking for a bit of upside, but I'm expecting dollar to drop to at least 101 in the next coming weeks. So if the dollar drops to 101, that means we're going to see a lot of dollar weakness, which should push dollar CAD to the downside as well. So I have other confluences which do favor USD CAD pushing down. But yeah, if it continues moving sideways, it's always the awkward one because it can move sideways and then suddenly, like I said right at the start of the stream, you just see one or two really bearish days. Maybe we have some news next week that tilts dollar or CAD in my direction, and then things are looking very bearish again. Um, so you don't want to get into a situation where the sideways just bores you out of a trade and you close it early. There has to be a good reason for doing it. So that's the reason I'm looking for. If there's a good reason, then I'll exit. At the moment, it's just sideways, just a bit awkward, just a bit slow, really. But yeah, for now, I'm gonna stay in the trade, and if I see a reason to exit, I'll potentially exit. But for now, we'll see what we can get. And again, that was the same with my Aussie CHF position as well. In terms of other pairs, I'm looking to trade. So Euro Yen looking for shorts there. Silver, I'm looking for pullbacks as well because we finally made a move above resistance there. So there's a pretty good chance that silver's going to push back to 34.8 now. This is a really lovely level of resistance back at 32.23. If I can see a pullback anywhere near that area, I'm looking for a high low to buy. Of course, gold's still looking very, very bullish. How is that candle doing? Okay, we've pulled back a little bit. So yeah, gold's still looking very bullish, so that'll probably drag silver with it to the upside. So yeah, I think silver's like to see more upside as well. Just some pullbacks look good. And in terms of USD pairs, I really like Euro USD longs. So this is a pair I'm going to pay a lot of attention to, but at the moment, it's still looking pretty bullish. So I have to stay patient because I do want to see a lot of retracement first. Pound USD is another pair I do like a lot as well. I'm looking for the retest of the range high there at 1.27. But yeah, just haven't seen much retracement. I think for the whole week, we've just been in this range, to be honest. Go to the weekly chart. Yeah, just a small bullish candle there. So we haven't really seen much there for pound, but the market is a bit stretched. So I am looking for some retracement, and hopefully that will give me the higher low to then buy and take it to the upside. Well, not that far, at least back to the high there. Keep things relatively simple. So I like pound USD longs, Euro USD longs, Aussie dollar and New Zealand dollar could end up being some nice trades there. But they're just being very, very flat and difficult to find good stop losses for. But I am expecting something like this to eventually happen. Same thing with NZD USD as well. Some nice swings like that to eventually happen as well. And of course, can't forget dollar CHF, which is actually not too far away. This could be a trade early next week. Looking for a pullback into 0.892 for some shorts. Continue with the lower highs. I like how price is correcting so far. Very, very corrective. We had a lot of momentum in that previous bearish move. So there's a good chance that we do continue selling off here for dollar CHF. So yeah, just waiting for a good pullback and hope we find some nice entries. Yen pairs, Euro yen alike, dollar yen alike as well. But I have to judge the pullback if it's worthwhile. Pound yen, I like the shorts there too. But I need to see a pretty big up move first before I do get my entries. And that is basically what I'm looking at. Aussie New Zealand dollar sells, it's still chopping badly. I haven't actually focused a lot on this pair in a while. I mean, the trend still looks like it's trying to continue here. But yeah, that is chopping horrifically, damn. That is just up, down, up, down, up, down. That is a pain. I mean, the funny thing is, it's going to do this though. It's going to range like this, and then it's going to have its breakout. You know, which again is not necessarily the sharpest breakouts either, but it will have its breakout. It has its range, and then move, and then range, and then move. Yeah, that's just the pattern of Aussie New Zealand dollar. But yeah, it is a bit of a pain. It is a bit of a pain. Anyway, guys, we have come to the end of the stream. I will be live again next week, same time as always, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time. The clocks actually go back, or no, forward. Sorry, keep getting mixed up with the direction. The clocks go forward on the weekend, so the streams might look like they're an hour late. No, an hour early. But the streams are always aligned with the UK time. So wherever in the world, keep an eye on the UK time. 10 a.m. UK time is when I will be live to 12 p.m. So if you are enjoying the streams, guys, please be sure to hit the bell, subscribe so you don't miss out on any streams in the future. Of course, I will post my analysis on the weekend as well. So recapping this week, analyzing next week, looking at the top setups for the week as well. So keep an eye on that as well. But guys, I really do appreciate you tuning into the streams. If you have enjoyed them, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel. It does really help out. Check out the Discord channel for Elevating Traders, completely free to join. Link in the description below. You can find out more information about Elevating Traders. And also, you can join discussions, share ideas. I share my own ideas there as well. So if you're looking to join in, feel free to check it out. Link in the description. But good to see everyone on the stream. Hope everyone has a great Friday, great weekend as well. Rest up and we go again. But appreciate it, guys. Have a good one, and I'll see you all in the next stream.